As I was going home one night from work, I had a car follow me most of the way home, with its brights on. At first I didn't think much of it until next week when a similar incident happened as well. The car would speed up when I would, and every turn that I made the car behind me did as well. It took me having to go through a cemetery to lose it. I didn't know if it was that the person was paranoid, or if he or she was just plain scared, but the second that I had a chance, I doubled back to the opposite direction where the car was, and then I went 2 extra miles out of my way to take the long way home. But it gets even creepier. Sometimes at night at 3 a.m., I would get restricted phone calls. No answers. I say hello and like something hit the mute button and the person wouldn't speak. It took me having to change my phone number for it to end. Until one day again I was leaving work. I stopped by the local Hobby Lobby only to encounter some deranged psycho lady screaming at me, while flipping me off, calling me every name in the book. Come to find out, it was an ex-girlfriend of mine from 10 years ago. I broke up with her because she was an abusive, violent drug addict who stalked me for weeks, till I finally moved out of town. Then I made the mistake of moving back years later due to a better paying job. I didn't recognize her because she was missing teeth and looked all bloated and fat. I guess drugs and letting yourself go has that effect on people. Anyways, I go home that night only to find that the locket I had bought for her years ago, with my picture still in it with my face all scratched to hell, was barely recognizable. At this point, I'm officially freaked the hell out. So I go to the courthouse to file a restraining order, only to find out that because she hasn't officially threatened my life or hurt me, the judge refused to grant me the restraining order. What a joke. I then met up with my friend and let him in on what was going on, and he had to change his phone number too, because she was doing the same thing to him as well. So then I got smart and got on Facebook.com, only to find I had a dozen mutual friends with her, so I blocked everyone at her friend list and her just to be safe. Now, did I mention that she's crazy, right? On my birthday years ago, I broke up with her because she got mad at me for something stupid and knocked me unconscious. When I came to, I could barely walk and she was in tears. Now you can say at this point why I'm very afraid of her, and since her father has a lot of guns, and her being the nutcase that she is, who isn't to say that she was capable of killing me? Then finally one day I saw her at a bar, and there she was, scary as ever, glaring at me. I then left and went to another place, and sure as hell she followed me. So I'm at the point to where I've had enough, so I go up to her and say, "Why are you doing this? What do you want from me?" She then replied, "I want to make you miserable since you hurt me all them years ago." I told her to fuck off and leave me alone, or I'm calling the cops, so she fled. Then all of a sudden weeks go by and everything stays quiet from her. I then find out that she was sentenced to prison for 15 years because she was high on K2 and tried strangling her boyfriend. To this day I still have bad dreams about her and what she might do if she's ever out of prison again. This story is about a knife shift experience that I will never forget. By the way, I'm female. When I was 18 years old, I worked as a lifeguard in Toronto, Canada. I'd been doing this job for 2 years and worked a lot of different pools. I'd picked up this shift that was every Friday night 6:30 p.m. to 10 p.m. during the winter season. This shift was also known as the loser shift for people who don't have anything fun to do on Friday nights. In early December, I was the only one left in the pool building on my Friday shift at 10:30 p.m. The pool building is attached to a main community center that has an ice rink and a gym in it. But the pool building has a completely different entrance and parking lot than the community center. Anyway, I was about to lock up and drop the key off at the main building when I saw a girl waiting outside in the parking lot. She was about 10 years old, and I recognized her as one of the people who came for free swimming during my shift. I was just about to ask her if she wanted to come wait inside because it was freezing outside when the phone rang. I went back into the staff office to answer the call, and after I was done, the girl was gone. I assumed her parents had come to pick her up or something logical. I then grabbed my stuff, turned the lights off, and locked the door to drop the key off and then walk home. I was walking across the parking lot for about 15 meters when I heard a faint muffled scream. I turned around quickly and saw a truck idling at the far end of the parking lot. It was kind of far away and I had to squint my eyes to see what was going on. To my horror, I realized a man was bent over and struggling to get something in his trunk. I moved a little closer towards the truck and saw that the man was wearing all black and had a scarf covering half his face. Then I saw a girl's arm trying to hold the trunk open while the man was trying to shut it. She had her legs sticking out of the trunk too, kicking and also holding the trunk door open. I recognized her as the girl that was waiting outside before. I noticed her bright pink winter jacket. 2 seconds after I realized what was going on, I started panicking and looking for my phone in my bag. The parking lot was completely empty other than that one truck. It was dimly lit and the ground was very icy. I looked up once I found my phone at the bottom of my bag. The man stopped struggling to get the girl into the trunk and turned to face me. As quickly as possible, I turned around and started running back towards the pool door. I looked over my shoulder while I was cautiously running, trying not to slip on the ice. He was charging towards me. I was about 10 meters away from the door and he'd gotten significantly closer to me. I started screaming, but it was hard to scream while running. I got to the door and struggled to get the keys out of my coat pocket. He was about 5 meters away when I unlocked the door and shut it behind me. Then I locked it. I called the cops on my phone and told the operator what was happening, and she said the police were on their way. It was terrifying to watch the man come right up at the door and try to open it, looking at me through the glass window at the top of the door. He banged on it and was yelling at me. I couldn't really hear what he was saying though. I then gave him the finger and then I think he realized that I was on the phone, and then he took off. It was horrifying to be behind the building door and not being able to see what was going on with the truck and the girl. I heard sirens pull into the parking lot about 5 long minutes after he left. I then felt that it was safe to open the door and walk outside. When I got outside, the girl was running towards the police cars, and the truck was nowhere in sight. Turns out that he lured her to his truck, not really sure how, and then tried to abduct her. Once he stopped banging on the pool door, he ran back to his car, threw the girl out of the trunk, then sped off out of the parking lot to never be seen again. I gave the police my statement, and as far as I know, he was never caught. Thanks for listening, guys. This is The Sinful Savant. Please make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. And email me your true stories, guys. My email is in the info box below. Make sure that you do that, and I will read your stories in the next upcoming videos. Hope everyone had a great weekend, and enjoy the Super Bowl if you watched it. So until next time, guys, stay sinful.